Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sun Up on 7. It's Monday, and we thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get into our first conversation, I remind you that you can follow us on our various social media platforms, which include Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you miss any of our conversations, you can go to our YouTube channel. Stay tuned with everything that happens on your favorite show, Sun Up on 7. And right now, we're going to be talking with our first guest, communications officers of the police department, Mr. Fitzroy Yearwood, who's going to be giving us an insight into what the police department has been working on to ensure the safety of all Belizeans that are engaging in this month's Independence Day celebrations. Good morning, Mr. Yearwood. How are you feeling
Good
today?
morning. I'm feeling
Monday.
rather fine,
Yeah.
actually.
You see,
I was-
pumped, man. The way
Yeah.
How was your weekend, sir?
It was a busy one.
Mm-hmm.
While you don't see me patrolling the streets, I have to monitor every event during the September celebrations, and I have to check in countrywide on other events. But we know that most of the celebration events are concentrated in Belize City.
Yeah.
So this is where we would have the the bulk of our workforce.
Yeah, we definitely
For-
saw like the police department coming in full force over
Oh.
over the
Definitely.
weekend. Yeah.
Especially for the carnival, and the Juve actually. It began with the wet fit.
Oh.
We had quite a number of wet fits around Belize City on
People were very wet, no?
Friday night, yeah. Besides the weather helping them, because the wet
That's
was
true.
natural.
That is true.
We had wet fit at the Marian Jones. I saw we had one somewhere in the Belcan area. We had one on Douglas Jones Street. We quite a few. And that, of course, culminated the morning at 4 o'clock on the Belcan Bridge, where the Juve got started. The Juve went well for the most part
Yeah.
until some criminal-minded person around the Majestic Alley area attacked two of the patrons at the Juve, where he stabbed them, and they both ended up at the Karhushna Hospital. We have someone detained in connection with that incident
okay.
already. And while we don't want any incidents to happen, we have our officers very active and ready to react and even prevent these incidents from happening, sorry.
Yeah. Mr. Yearwood, Commissioner Chester Williams put out a release on his Facebook page where he reassured the public that, the police department is going to be out there in full force, ensuring everyone's safety. And I feel that was comforting because the concern for safety was quite valid in people that were thinking about coming to Carnival. Coming from the movement of the state of emergency, also, just in general, of the past incidences in the previous years, the general concern of safety was quite there, and it was good to see again the police coming out in full force. Was there any incident that happened during the carnival? Any incident of violence?
Well, for the most part, there was no violence, but
Great.
immediately after the carnival arrived at Marian Jones, our officers responded to a fight at the BTL Park
Okay.
area. Again, we are seeing more incidents where it's female on female. A lot of women are fighting publicly. Like you just said, we came out of a pandemic where everyone was forced to be at home with their partners for 2 years. Now that we are back open, if you study Facebook, WhatsApp, and other social media ends, you will realize that we had a lot of quarrels festering between females on these various social media entities.
Very true.
And now that they're back out there, it's having an effect where most of these fights at these events are females involved.
Wow.
I remember
That's a
the
really
land
good
shark when it was
observation.
between two females too at the bar.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. So when you have a fight between two females, it's the female police officers that have to separate it, right? For the
No,
most part, or
no. That's a misconception.
Okay.
The public believes that only female officers are allowed to deal with females. No. If a fight, for instance, is happening in my presence, my view,
Yeah,
I would be a fool to stand by and wait for a female officer
that's
to
true.
come from somewhere else to try and separate that fight. At that time, a life could be lost.
Right.
Our officers are trained to deal with any situation, whether male or female, or even when a minor is involved. It's to restrain that person the quickest way possible so that we can save a life.
Definitely.
Preservation of life and property is of paramount importance. And there is nowhere in the laws of Belize that says that I, as a male officer, can't arrest and charge you as a female.
Definitely, and I think that was a misconception where it was like, oh, so I'm guessing only female officers deal with the females when they're having that fight or so. I was gonna ask too as well. So you see how we have big Juveta and Carnival and everything, and we saw the police in full force. There are a lot of people that are having their individual functions going on with big numbers as well. They definitely have to contact the police department to have security, personnel on standby, right there monitoring what's happening. Is there a number that you guys do per person? Like for say, like it's 200 persons that's gonna be at your event. Am I supposed to know how much police officers if I have 200 people or so? Is there something like an estimate or so?
We do have an estimate for it. The figure I won't give out, but we do have a way that we estimate events. And every event in this September celebrations calendar, we already have a calendar of event for it. We know the exact officers that will work each event. We have their names and we have their postings.
Okay.
If you were following the carnival, you would notice that at every junction, every corner along the route, we had officers.
Yes.
And we do a roll call before the event, and we do our own deployment so as to ensure that if an officer is absent from duty, we know exactly where that person should have been posted, and we immediately fill that gap with another officer.
Perfect.
So for the upcoming event, the 9th of September event, that's on Friday, we do have a deployment already set for the event. That's the a jump up, I believe, at Marian Jones with some international artists, Tanya Stevens and Christopher Martin.
Yes.
I am well versed with every event that will take place in September because we study this. We meet several times prior to September to make sure that we have every event covered.
Right.
The event that I'm looking forward to is the Panyard.
Ooh.
It's my favorite event, and I will be attending. I just love pan
Then the
music.
communications from who on that day?
No, I'll be out there.
Nice. I mean, there's definitely something to look forward to happening during the
Yes.
calendar of this year. And hearing you talk, Mr. Yearwood, it's reassuring and it's comforting to know that the police is, keeping everything, in place to ensure everybody's safety. As we carry on with the conversation, do you have any words of advice to our viewers that's in regards to the September
Or
celebrations, in
event
regards to
planners too
safety?
as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. What happened is that while it is the police responsibility to keep you safe at these events, it's also your responsibility to keep yourself safe. If you don't feel comfortable going to an event, then you have that option not to. You have that option to stay at home. But we try our best and we want to reassure the public that in that 2 years where you were locked down, we were still out there.
Definitely.
We were providing safety for everyone during lockdown. I'm certain you heard a lot of people got charged during that period of time for curfew violation, whether it was for a mask or being out there during curfew hours without reasonable cause. But at the same time, we at the police department, we don't really see holiday. We don't see vacation. I took 10 days leave the other day and my phone was busy. So it's a ongoing thing for us. But I want to also highlight another event that We have the 20th night, of course,
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna.
where we will be in surplus of 100 officers.
Wow.
The Chamber of Commerce Expo, we're seeing the return of Expo after 2 years.
Right.
We have surplus of 100 officers for both days.
Wow.
And the 21st, we will have surplus of 100 officers. In some cases, it's surplus of 200 officers.
Wow.
And yes, we will continue to police these events. And as we see it fit, we will add officers to the deployment to ensure that you, the general public, that you are safe at these events. And of course, on Saturday, I know you saw the Commissioner of Police walking the
the
entire route of the carnival. We saw Mr. Howard Longsworth, Officer Commanding Eastern Division, Dr. Rosado, the Deputy Compol, Miss Desiree Phillips was also here. And I could tell you, every deputy commissioner was out of their office on that day, including Aaron Guzman, we had Bart Jones. These officers come out on these events for additional support. And if needs be, they will walk the streets along with the commissioner. Maybe you might even get to see me in my uniform walking the street at some of these events. So, but we're trying our best to ensure the safety of the general public.
Yes.
And all I can say is have fun.
Yeah.
Definitely, but also be safe and be mindful. Like you made a very good
Yeah.
point that although we have police officers out there, let's not give them work too as well.
Exactly.
We can be able to move from situations. If we say a fight they broke out, we don't necessarily need the police officer to move, you know. We could move and get out of the way and then
No.
or even highlight and say, sir, there's something happening, because maybe they not see every single thing and let them know this will be a fight. Let them be highlighted.
No, Belizeans are waiting for that event now. Everybody has their phone or their gadget, their device in their hand,
Ready for a call.
ready to go live and to YouTube. And come on.
I'm
That instead of videoing an event, you could actually, like you just suggested, help the police to identify these people before the fight even begins.
Yeah, you see something, because you know when tension's high and everything.
Definitely.
And I'm sure you're gonna also be very present in Orange Walk, because Orange Walk is
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
a lot that's happening in Orange Walk and Standing Nasa, Santa Elena. I know you've spoken
I
to the
see
mayor.
they have scheduled concerts, one with an international artist, and we know that we have the return of Carnival in Orange Walk on
21st,
Independence
yeah.
Day.
Yes.
So I'm certain you will see the commissioner out there working also.
Okay.
You might even see me out there working.
All right.
When I'll
Well, we
Orange
hope
Walk
to see
now.
you
Orange
there.
Walk too.
Mr. Yearwood, I have one last question for you, and I think one of the ways to celebrate the work that the police department is doing was the fact that there was a carnival. How do you call it? Not a float. What do you call the
The theme was,
the
you
theme
know,
where they had a police officer?
Brazilian.
Yeah, I saw it.
How were your thoughts about that?
I love it.
Yeah?
It was a float with frontline workers.
Uh-huh.
I think they had a nurse on it also, but it's really, how to say, refreshing to see that the public appreciate the effort that we put forward. And I must highlight something that I almost forgot. On the 13th of September, the Commissioner of Police will be handing out long service medals,
Nice.
other awards to officers that have, how to say, 20 years service, 25 years service. Actually, I have 26 years service as
Oh,
an
wow.
officer.
That's a lot on your belt.
Yeah, quite a few.
Right, and you're 26 years.
I'm 26, guys. I don't need to buy 26.
Yeah.
Wow,
Number,
that's-
play.
A lot of other officers will be highlighted for their years of service that they will also receive various medals of honor. We have the first class, the second class. These are medals given out to persons that keep good conduct for their 26 years. I am one of those persons.
I know you're
I have
proud of
good
that,
conduct,
Nigeria.
yeah. I already received my MSM and LSM, rather, long service. Looking forward to my MSM now, okay?
Okay.
But I want to encourage our officers also, and I want them to know from my home, from my family, we do appreciate them providing that safety for us. And I am certain that every law-abiding citizen in Belize appreciates
No, definitely.
their hard work. I know that they don't hear it too often, but we are proud of them. Okay?
For sure.
No, I'm so happy that you gave that sentiment because it's more than just what the public need to know, the police officers need to know too, because they work extremely hard.
Exactly.
Exhausting hours, get called upon demand, random times and everything,
Yeah.
and they come out. And so we really have to commend them because although you have all the
Thank you for
different
that.
stories of, seeing how people deal with different civilians, not all of that the same thing. And so we do have to highlight and congratulate all the people that do good conduct for years upon years upon
Yeah.
years that are, great officers that just uphold the law and make you be proud that they are in the force. So thank you so
Definitely.
much to every single one of them
Yes.
out there.
Thank you too.
Yes. All right.
Oh, and we have the float.
That's the flow. Yes.
You never take. Oh no, you never take. Oh, someone just want to say, you never take no picture.
Yes, I actually took a picture.
You
of
took a
it.
picture with
Took a
it?
picture of it.
All right.
I was
love
out
it.
there taking pictures of my
Oh.
officers on the ground.
Nice.
So I think if you go on the commissioner's WhatsApp page, he put up some of the photos that I took of him because I want them to know that while I'm not out there walking with them, I'm out there walking the road to take pictures of them.
Definitely. So they can know that, the presence is there, that we can see the presence there too as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's very good for communications to make sure you put that presence
Exactly.
out there so
Yeah.
people
To
know.
know that we appreciate them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay?
Sherwood, we thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you
today
too
on
for
our
having
couch,
me.
giving us your feel about the weekend, and of course, reassuring our public that the police department is going to be out there ensuring everyone's safety during the entire month. I'm going to thank you once
Thank
more
you
for
for
all the
having
hard
me.
work that you're doing.
And the
Yes.
police department
so,
and
folks,
every
with that, we're
single
going to go on a commercial break. When we're back, we're going to be joined by Senator General Chanona and Mr. Valdemar of TASA talk about their letter sent to the Prime Minister as regards to the EIA of the Waterloo project. Stay tuned for that conversation. We'll be right back with you.